Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of The Message. I'm your host, Donatus King. We'll spend this next hour with one purpose in mind, and that one purpose is delivering the message that God is Almighty. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, is a piece of God. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, was made by God. Everything that ever happened, is happening right now, or ever will happen, was made to happen by God. God is a master plan for all time and all creation. God is Almighty. The message is produced by the Society of Knowledge. The Society is an interdenominational ministry. Our members come from various different religious and spiritual backgrounds. We have various different religious and spiritual beliefs. Although we come from different backgrounds and have different beliefs, there's one belief that we share. There is one piece of knowledge that we hold in common. And that's the knowledge that there is a being. By no matter what name we may have been taught to call that being, by no matter what name we may have come to know that being, whether that name be God, Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, Jehovah, Buddha, no matter what name, we know that there is a being that possesses not some of the power, not most of the power, but all of the power. We know that there is indeed an almighty being. That's the reason we do this show, and the only reason we do this show, and that's to deliver the message that that being that personally I call God, that being is indeed almighty. Today is November the 3rd, 2022. We'll have our announcements, then our testimonies, and following that, we'll have our religious spiritual study. And our discussion topic tonight is, let's see, before we get to that, we're reminded to prove all things, hold fast that which is good, coming out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. Our discussion topic tonight is the Yoruba religion, the Yoruba religion. And some of you have heard of it, but we're going to learn a little bit about it tonight. And after that, we'll have our words of inspiration. Will be coming out of the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verses 11 through 22. And I want to remind all of our viewers on Facebook to hit the like button, hit the share button while you're watching, and start a watch party. Help us share this information, share the message. And again, the message is that God is Almighty. And something else I'm going to ask you to do, just to help us with our quality control, with our technology. If there's some difficulty in the audio or in the video, please post the comments on Facebook and let me know so that we can try to correct that as the show goes on. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we did the whole show and didn't have any audio. And even though the viewers tried to inform us by posting it on Facebook, we had so many technical difficulties that night that we couldn't even see the comments. So if you do see that we're having some audio difficulties or other kind of difficulties, technical difficulties, please let us know. All right, let's get on with the show. And let's see. Okay, if we can pull this back up again. All right. Our words of inspiration, as I say, will be coming out of the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verses 11 through 22. What you see on the screen now, that's our main website, and that's www.godisalmighty.org. That's www.godisalmighty.org. I invite you to lock that into your web browser, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit that website, and there are links to all of our social media platforms. We have a blog page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Just log in that main website and there are links that you can just click on. So you don't have to worry about writing down all of those different addresses. Just go to that main website, and there are links that you can click on. The Lafayette, Louisiana Center of the Society. Yes, the Society of Knowledge has several different locations. I'm speaking out of the New Orleans Center. We have a center in Lafayette, and that's presided over by Messenger Ryan King. We have a center in Opelousas, Louisiana. That's presided over by Messenger Corey Levier. We have a center in North Carolina, and that's presided over by Messenger Tenav L. So we're trying to establish centers throughout the world, not just here in the United States, but throughout the world. And the purpose of those centers, the same purpose as this show, and that's to deliver the message that God is Almighty. Imani Temple, number 49, located in the city of Lafayette. That's presided over by Archbishop John W. Milton. He's the pastor of Imani Temple number 49 of the African American Catholic Congregation. Imani Temple number 28, located here in the city of New Orleans. That's presided over by Bishop Wendy Meat, and that address is 2411 Treasure Street here in the city of New Orleans. The Society of Knowledge, we are celebrating this coming Saturday. Okay, we are celebrating our 43rd anniversary. 43rd anniversary. And we will also be celebrating the acknowledgement of ordination of Messenger Frank Othello Andrews Jr. So we're going to have a double party. Okay, we're going to party twice as hardy this coming Saturday, November the 5th. And the celebration will start at 5 p.m. And again, that will be in Crowley, Louisiana. We will be opening up a Crowley, Louisiana Center of the Society of Knowledge. And that will be presided over by Brother Frank Othello Andrews Jr. And that celebration is going to occur at the Rice Palace. And that's located at 2015 North Cherokee Street in Crowley, Louisiana. So if you're in that Crowley area, come on down and celebrate with us. Previously recorded episodes of The Message can be watched on television, Cox Cable Orleans, Channel 76 on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and on YouTube at DNK Messenger. The Society of Knowledge, Fellowship, and Celebration. We are live on Facebook. We have our service, our worship service, our fellowship, our celebration. That's every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And on the second and fourth Sundays of every month, we have our fellowship in person. And the next in-person fellowship will be Sunday, November 13th, 2022. And that will be at Imani Temple, number 28, 2411 Treasure Street. Let me pull this down, because I just want to talk to you for a minute. I'm encouraging you, inviting you to come on down and fellowship with us. On Thursdays, during this program, during this broadcast, this is more of a teaching and studying session. More of a teaching and studying session. And we discuss all different aspects of religion and spirituality. On Sundays, when we have our fellowship, that is really a celebration. And we'll have singing, we'll have some preaching, we'll just have fellowship, have a good time. And something, it's like a football game. You can watch a football game on TV, but it's just a little something extra sometimes when you're actually there at the stadium. So those of you that watch our fellowship on Sundays. I'm glad that you're doing that, but I'm inviting you, I'm encouraging you to come on down and join us in person. That's the second and fourth Sunday of every week. Come on down, get a chance to come. Let me shake your hand. Okay? Let me shake your hand. Let me hear your voice. Okay? Let us get together. Come on down. Come on down. So that's the second and fourth Sundays here in New Orleans at 2411 Treasure Street. All right, let's see if we can get the screen back up. All right. Okay. All right, let's get right into our religious and spiritual study session. And as always, we are reminded to prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Just because you hear me say something here on this show, don't take that for gospel truth. Do your own research. See, that's the Bible tells us to prove all things. Okay, don't just accept something because somebody tells you. And nowadays, there's so many people that are hearing things and reading things on the internet, on the World Wide Web, and they just say, well, oh man, that's got to be real. I saw it on the web. Prove all things. Okay? If you hear me say something, check it out for yourself, verify it, prove it yourself. And if you find out that it's true, then hold on to it. But if you find out that it's not quite true, then I want you, if it's something that I say or somebody says something on this show, don't wait till later on. Let us know right now. Get on online, on Facebook, post in the comments, say, well, Brother King, I have some other information about that issue. Or Brother King, here's another little aspect of that. Because we want to get correct information out to the public. We don't want to get anything that's incorrect. We only want to get the facts and the truth. Okay? So if you do hear something that's not quite right, let us know so we can make sure that we correct it. All right, tonight we're going to discuss the Yoruba religion. And some of us have heard of that. We don't really know too much information about it, but we're going to change that tonight. We are going to find out about the Yoruba religion. All right. Good. The Yoruba people are an ethnic group that inhabits Western Africa, mainly the countries of Nigeria. And as we look, here we are this is the continent of Africa. And a lot of times folks will talk about Africa like if it's one country. Okay, but Africa is actually a continent that has many different countries, different nations on the continent. So here we see Nigeria, and where you see the pointer. Okay, so here's Africa. Okay, here's Western Africa. And here is Nigeria. And right next to it is Benin. And next to that, Togo. Okay, so this is the area primarily where the Yoruba people are located. And we do have someone in the waiting room, Zoom. So let's open it up and let's see who we have here. All right, we have someone. Hello. All right. Okay, I know we've just admitted someone in. All right, you want to unmute? Let's see. All right, and they're identified as the message. Hello.
Hey, Elder Messenger, how you doing?
All right, that's Messenger Cole. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
All right. All right. I tell you what, let's do this. Let me stop this screen share. All right. And let's see if we can yeah, all right, there you are. All right. All right, brother. Were you able to log into your email account? Oh, now we lost you. We've lost your mic now, your audio.
Here we go.
Yeah,
I
all
said
right.
not yet, but I do feel confident about it. It's on the website, right?
No, if what should happen is that you should get an invitation to your regular email address. So whatever your regular email address, there should be an invitation sent to that. And when you see the invitation, they'll have some information as far as how to set up a password and stuff to set your society email up.
I look forward as soon as we're done here.
Oh, all right. It sounds good, brother. I'll be seeing you. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you. I'm looking forward to it Saturday.
Saturday at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. All right. That sounds good. And this is something for those of our viewers. We're speaking about the double celebration that we're going to have this weekend. And that's going to be celebrating the 43rd anniversary of the society and also the acknowledgement of ordination of a new messenger, and that's Brother Frank Andrus. And Brother Corey, Messenger Corey, we're saying the 43rd anniversary, and I recall an event that occurred at our 40th anniversary. All right. And so how the time flies.
How it flies.
All right. So that's 3 years ago. For those of our viewers that are unaware, 3 years ago, we were celebrating the ordination of a messenger, Corey Levier, coming out of the city of Opelousas. But we're going to be studying tonight, Brother Cole and Messenger Cole. First of all, before we get into that, you have some information or any news that you want to share with us?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, all right. How's the gun safety classes coming? How are they coming?
Oh, wonderful! I'm doing them every month. I'm trying to, what like the kids say, stack a little paper or get that bag to get a range of my own. But
Right.
It's coming along very well, man. I've taught thousands of people, and they tell me I get better with every class.
All right, all right, and that's one of the things that we talk about the society. Uh, the society really is. It really is a community. And one of the things about the community, now we're a community, just like most churches are focused around spirituality, and that's our center. But as a part of that, as a part of being a community, being a society, one of the aspects of that is being able to sustain ourselves. And one of the things that you heard Messenger Corey speaking about just now is a business that he operates in his gun safety classes, and it's so in our community, and when I'm saying community, in the Black community, it's so often that we teach our children to go to school, get a good job to support themselves. And not enough, in my opinion, not enough do we encourage them to not just get a job, but to start your own. Develop your own business, start your own business. And it's great to see, brothers like Messenger Levier, who's actually an entrepreneur, doing his thing out there. And I see the little Levier All right. I see the little one. How you doing? All right. Now I know that's not the baby.
Yeah, that's the baby.
Oh man. Oh, the time fly.
Say, how you doing, messenger?
Hi, messenger.
Oh, how cute that is. All right. I will see you. I'll see you this weekend.
It don't get much cuter than that, messenger.
Right. Look, I think it was the other a week or so ago, a couple of weeks, and you were telling me about how she has your heart. You know, that look, anything, you know, you can't say no. It's just
That's it, man. You see why now.
right. Look, she loves her daddy too.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, look, you know something, we talk about the society being a community and all the rest of that. But when it comes down to the true community, true society, it's a blessing to have a family.
Yeah.
It is a blessing. That's that unit that forms the basis of any civilization, and that's the family. You know, and again, it is a blessing. All right. The well, if there is anything that you think of as we go along, any kind of announcements, just let us know. We're gonna get into, and I'm gonna pull the screen back up, and we're gonna finish our discussion about the Yoruba. And so we were speaking about the Yoruba people, and they're located primarily in Western Africa. And the Yoruba have evolved a robust cosmology, okay? A robust cosmology. In brief, it holds that all human beings possess what is known as Ayanmo, destiny, fate, and are expected to eventually become one in spirit with Olodumare. Now, this is something that is very similar to what we say here in the society, our acknowledgement, when we say that everything that is a piece of God. So when we're saying that, we can see the similarity between that and this belief of the Yoruba religion. And the only difference that I can see from what I've read here is it says that eventually become one in spirit with Olodumare. Whereas we know here at the society that we are always one. It's not eventually going to become one, that we are always. That is our essence, that's our nature. Just like my hand is one with the rest of my body. All parts, they look different, but they're all part of the one body. Not going to become a part of my body. This hand is not going to become a part of my body next week. It's already a part of my body. Already. But it's when you look at it, and just to think that here it is in the society of knowledge, the knowledge that we have, not the belief, but the knowledge that we have about this oneness, about all being one. And we see that expressed in other religions. And I will just remind our Christian brothers and sisters, that's the same thing that the Bible speaks about. Okay? The same message that Jesus Christ was speaking about when he says, I'm in the Father, Father in me, and you in me. If Christ is in the Father, and the Father is in Christ, and we are in Christ, then that means that we are also in the Father. So that means what? As it says, that God is what? The all in all, the one. And Messenger Corey, I can recall when you all were broadcasting a couple of years ago, the phrase, the terminology that you all were using in Lafayette and in Opelousas, and that's that which is all things. Okay, so no matter what name you call it, no matter what language, if you're speaking Chinese, you're speaking Spanish, if you're speaking French, no matter what language you're using, there's a universal truth that there is a being of which we are all a part. All right. So let's get and I say this time, it has a way of doing that as far as all right. And you see, we was talking about the technology piece. All right. The Yoruba believe that Olodumare, and to see if I can get this up, and this is an artist rendering of Olodumare. The Yoruba believe that Olodumare is omnipotent and is the source of all. Olodumare is aloof. He is not directly involved in earthly matters, and lets Orisha, who are his sons and daughters, answer human concerns through divination, possession, sacrifice, and more. The name Olodumare symbolizes a divinity that has no father or mother, and that simultaneously is and is not bound by space, time, and dimension. Right? So now, and one of the things that I encourage, and something that the Bible encouraged, and it's encouraged, as we just saw in Thessalonians. When you read something on the web, or if you hear somebody say something, do your own research. And one of the things that I've learned in all the years that I've been doing research and studying and carrying on is that you could read one book on a subject, and then you could read another book on the same subject. And the author of one book will have one interpretation, the author of another book will have another interpretation. And that even goes, understand what I'm saying, because I'm even with the Bible, and some folks say, well, the Bible is the word of God, and nothing's going to change. Well, if you read the Bible, you'll see that there are some Bibles that have different words. There are some Bibles that will call themselves the King James Version of the Bible. There are other Bibles that will call themselves the New King James Version. There are some be the American Standard. There are all many different versions of the Bible. And I encourage you, one of the tools that I use a tool that's called Bible Gateway. Now, I'm not giving an advertisement for them, but that's one of the study tools that I use. And you can go there, and there are a list of maybe about 40 or 50 different Bibles, and you can put in a particular scripture, like you say Genesis 3, chapter 3, verse 4, and you can say, give me King James Version of it, and you'll see different words. And then they'll say, give me the American Standard, and they'll pull up something, different words. And the reason being is that the different editors of these Bibles, they put their own interpretation. Even the King James Version of the Bible, one of the oldest versions, it was somebody's interpretation of a Bible that existed before the King James Version. So when we're talking about studying, and I'm reading here what it says, what I found online about this, the Orishas and Olodumare. there are some other sources that might give a little different spin. So I invite you to do your own research on that. All right, let's get back up. I do have a couple of more screens, not a whole lot of screens this week. Historically, the Yoruba worship Olodumare through the agency of the Orisha. Thus, there is no image, shrine, or sacrifice made directly towards him. Olodumare is the origin of virtue and mortality and bestows the knowledge of things upon all persons when they are born. He is omnipotent, transcendent, unique, all-knowing, good, and evil. Yoruba believe Olodumare created all other forces of the universe to help continue the evolution of the universe. In the Yoruba belief system, Olodumare has Ashe, power over all that is. Hence, it is considered supreme. The Yoruba belief system also teaches that the thoughts and actions of each person in Aye, the physical realm, interact with all other living things, including the earth itself. Each person attempts to achieve transcendence and find their destiny in Orin, the spiritual realm of those who do good and beneficial things. One's Ori-Unu, spiritual consciousness in the physical realm, must grow in order to consummate union with one's Iponri, Ori-Orin, spiritual self. So that's a real brief, truncated introduction into the Yoruba. And okay, we saw that Bishop Wendy Me was joining us. Okay, Bishop, let's see if we can try to admit you there. All right, Bishop. I see that you are muted. All right, we're going to wait and see if we can get Bishop Me. We see that he has joined us. All right, now it sounds though okay. Let's see if we have Bishop here. All right. Good evening, Bishop. How you doing?
Hey, my brother. How you doing, brother Donatus?
I'm doing well. All right. We have Messenger Corey also joining us out of Opelousas.
Yeah. I
I
was watching on Facebook, and I said, let me come on here because I like your subject.
All right. Well, that was the last screen. And I say a very abbreviated discussion and information. So that's great that you're on. You have some more information that you can share with us.
No, not really. Only thing when I took the DNA test, what's up, brother Corey? When I took the DNA test when they first came out with DNA, that I was told that I have a connection to the Yoruba. That was part of my ancestral lineage back in Africa from Nigeria. Yes, yeah. But that's it. I they have the Yoruba religion and stuff, which is a lot of it is almost what Christianity kind of was copied off of.
Right. Well, that's interesting that you say that, because as we've been studying about the development of various religions, and last week we were studying about Christianity and development of Halloween and All Souls Day and All Saints Day, and studying about how there was an adaptation by the Christian church of a Celtic holiday, which occurred around that period of time, the end of October, the beginning of November. And as Christianity spread into Ireland and Western Europe, as Christianity spread, instead of trying to fight those Celts and get them to just give up their native religion, what they did was they just assimilated, took parts of it and turned it into Christian holidays. So a lot of people are unaware of the fact that the holiday that some folks celebrated Monday, this Halloween, there are a lot of folks that don't realize that in some religions, there is a religious aspect to Halloween. And as part of the African American Catholic congregation, Bishop, I know that you're aware of those primarily Catholic holy days of All Saints Day and All Souls Day. But there are some Protestant religions that follow and observe All Souls and All Saints Day, but it's particularly All Souls Day is primarily a Catholic religion. But when we talk about and what brought this discussion up, Bishop, when you said about how different religions usurp or take pieces of one religion and put them with another religion. But one of the things in Messenger Code, one of the things we were talking about earlier about terminology. One person might use this word, another might use that word. We would be talking about the same thing. I might call it tomato, somebody else might call it tomato. Same fruit that we're talking about. And if we can, the more we can get away from fighting each other over what the name is and what the terminology is, the closer we become to realizing and understanding that we are indeed one, not only one people, but we are one. We're part of one body, one body. Bishop, I look at this thing that's standing up here right now, and just science tells me, medicine tells me that this one body, it looks like one body. It tells me that there are millions, not thousands, but millions of living things in here. Now this is no superstition. This is no googly goop. This is what science and science tells me that in this mass of flesh, Messenger Code, that there are millions of living things that make up this. And the living things I'm talking about are called cells. Cells. And the cells, each cell is an individual living thing. It's a living being. Cells come into existence and they die. And every second of our lives, those cells are being generated and they're dying. And when you look at me, it looks like it's just one thing standing up here. Is that right? Looks like just one thing. But in actuality, it's millions of things that are joined together. And because they're joined together, it makes up and gives the appearance of being this right here. So and that's real similar to some of the concepts that the Yoruba speak about, and that this oneness, that the same way all these cells make up this body, we are all cells of that one body, that one body. And it's not just us human beings, but everything that ever was, is now, ever will be a part of the one, a part of the one. Bishop, I get excited, talking about that. And, one of the things that excites me and it keeps me in check is knowing that no matter whatever it is that I do, it's because of the will of the one, and that I'm working in concert with another part of the one that's on the other side of the world. I might not be conscious of that fact, but indeed, everything is working together. Everything is working together. All right, Bishop. We really, well, let's say we have maybe about another 10 or 12 minutes in the program left. But I wanted to again I'll extend an invitation for those of our viewers that are in the New Orleans area to come out and fellowship with the members at Imani here in New Orleans. And I just share that every time that I've been there, that the folks have made me feel, at home. And one of the things about, Bishop is here on with us tonight, and it's a great thing to be able to be in the presence and be around people where you feel comfortable. It's a great thing to be in the presence and around people where you can not be afraid to express something that you're feeling, not be afraid to ask a question, not be afraid to express something that maybe everybody else isn't expressing. And as you can, as attested to, as you can see, by the fact that the bishop is here with us tonight, and he's also, again, the pastor of Imani Temple, that just acknowledges the fact that when you go to Imani, you're not going to be browbeat into, towing the line, that you have to, believe in exactly this, or you have to be made to feel uncomfortable because you don't look that way or you don't speak that way. No, and that's a great thing, and that's one of the things that I admire about the folks over there at Imani, and one of the great things about the Society of Knowledge, that you can come no matter how you are, what you are, who you are. You come as you are. There's only one message that we deliver, and that's the message that there is an almighty being. Okay, we got to close out. We have about another 10 minutes to go. So I don't know, Messenger Cole, if you have any comments that you want to share.
Absolutely. But as you know, I'm definitely a fan of the Yoruba culture and tradition and spiritual operations, so to speak. And it was definitely one of the things that led me down the path that I'm on now. I felt a real connection with some people in Ghana, West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I ran across a guy that looked like my twin.
Mm-hmm.
And he was from Ghana. We were working in Iraq together. He was a contractor from West Africa, and I was, of course, a soldier deployed in service to the United States. So And man, you know, somebody pointed out that we looked alike. When I met him, it was like looking in the mirror. So for me, it was a confirmation that, you know, man, you know, I'm all over the world, you know, with this bloodline, you know, things like that, you know, don't happen by accident. You know, like you
Right.
said, we made up. Oh, that's what I wanted to say earlier. You said billions of cells. The last thing I read said trillions of cells. So
All right.
make sure people listening, it, you know, billions, yes, that's cool, but we are trillions of
Trillions.
individual things
Right.
operating in cohesion and alignment to be what we are today. And it's no accident. It's not, you know, something you can overthink. It's just what it is. And
Right.
and you know, but I really love the Yoruba tradition, the Orishas. I teach my kids about it. You know, I have a lot of respect for it because it aligns with my spiritual understanding. You know, so, and I encourage anybody that's interested, man, please do your research, learn about it. If it's the path for you, you know, I truly support it. And if, you know, you have any questions, I'm sure you can reach out to Messengers and Natters or myself or the bishop. And we love to discuss the spiritual matters surrounding the Yoruba traditions and cultures. And a lot of this was passed down verbally, as was the tradition, you know, with our ancestors, even on this land and every other land in this world, from from Australia to Africa to America. You know,
Right.
all of the original people passed down information and wisdom through oral tradition. So these conversations that we're offering to people to talk about this is right in line with what our ancestors did, and anything that we can learn from you or from anyone else about this great tradition and culture, I'm definitely interested and always willing to listen and respond.
Right. All right. That's like we used to say in the late '60s and the early '70s. You know, right on. And that and that is right on. And that's one of, you know, we talk. I know in the past, Messenger Co. When you all were broadcasting, and there was one topic that you all had discussed, and that was the law of attraction. Uh, and it's good to be able to come together and have these discussions. See, as you were saying just now, you know, to be able to sit down and talk about things, to have discussions. Nowadays, I think a lot of young folks say, you know, to chop it up, you know, is good, you know, and it's good when you can find folks that not only want to sit down and talk about what the saints are doing, or what's happening, you know, what the Pelicans are doing. Is good when you find some folks that want to sit down and talk about these topics, these religious topics, these spiritual topics. You know, I enjoy that. And not only is good to find folks that enjoy doing that, but enjoy being in an atmosphere where you don't have to feel restricted. You don't have to be afraid of saying something and be criticized about it. You know, oh, there's another. All right, who is this that we have now, Messenger Co?
This is the Royal Prince, Tremaine Levier.
Man, this was so 3 years ago. There's a little fella that was running around. He got big now.
Oh yeah, he's much bigger now. Yes, indeed.
He probably doesn't even remember coming to the celebration.
Oh no, we show him the picture all the time. He remembers.
All right, all right. Well, that's a good deal. The you know, but again, we're talking about sharing this knowledge, and the greatest knowledge is the knowledge that, you know, there is an almighty being. So we have about 3 minutes. Any closing comments, Bishop?
Well, I would like to say that, it's good to explore outside of the box that they created.
Mhm.
And that's I've always shared with you, that's what I like about you. You don't live in the box, you live in spite of.
All right.
Because you was talking earlier, you were talking about the Bible and how many different versions, how different some read and how differently they interpret it.
Right.
And like a lot of things is based on interpretation. People like to approach things as if they're as one dimensional or all in the same, but it's not. It's perspective. So I think that we do ourselves an injustice when we can't have a dialogue such as
Right.
when we try to make everything fit into our narrative opposed to allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to learn,
Right.
to
Right.
know, to understand. I was just reading some earlier saying about, how like don't be afraid to learn, but to learn, you have to recognize that you don't know everything.
You're right.
And so a
Right.
lot of people, they can't acknowledge the fact that they don't know everything, so they're not open to learn.
Right.
So like I said, I was on Facebook, and then I said, well, let me go on Zoom. You
Uh,
know, at first I wasn't going to interact. I just was listening to you and Brother Corey, but I said, well, let me go on Zoom. Could I put on there? But tomorrow I want you to send me a copy of the flyer for Saturday.
all right.
And
All right.
I try to make it. But anyway, uh, it's good too to talk about ancient stuff, because a lot of things that, and I'm gonna stop here because I know you don't have much time. A lot of things that people are stuck on, they think that that's what it is, but that's Johnny come lately stuff. This
Right.
stuff that you're dealing with tonight, the Yoruba stuff, that predates all this stuff that we think we know by thousands of years, not
Right.
by, as the brother Corey said, not by hundreds of years, not by 8,000 years,
You're right.
by 10,000 plus years.
Yes. Right.
You know, ancestors did this. Like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, has rooted in a block that developed from paganisation, from the very thing that you're talking about tonight.
Right.
That's why I get on to say that. But I'm gonna stop here because I know we're out of time. But God bless. Good to see you, Brother Corey. Hope to see you Saturday. Thank you, Brother Denali, for giving me the opportunity to speak.
All
But I'm
right.
going off. I know you got to take it from here.
All right. Peace, peace, Bishop. Peace,
Peace.
Bishop. All right, Messenger Cole. You have some closing comments?
Bishop, I always got a comment, but the what I would like to say to my people is be aware of your ignorance.
Hmm.
Be aware of your ignorance. Embrace your ignorance as an opportunity. Embrace your ignorance as the greatest opportunity you ever had, because learning something that you don't know takes you to the next level.
Hmm.
You know, and we were beaten and oppressed for so long that many of us, I'm not going to say all of us, many of us lost the desire to be human. And to be human means to evolve, ever increasing your knowledge and understanding of yourself and nature and the things around you. So embrace your ignorance, because your ignorance is the greatest thing that has ever happened to you. What you don't know, you can discover. And to bring it to a psychological level, I heard an elder lady use this term, cognitive dissonance. Be aware of your cognitive dissonance, my people. That means that when you come across information that challenges everything you have ever learned, don't run away.
Right.
Research it, be brave enough, and have enough intestinal fortitude to be okay with not knowing that you don't know something. And when you reach that space of cognitive dissonance where everything in you is turning around and you come across this information that you wasn't aware of, and it challenges every core belief you thought you had. Embrace it, research it, learn it, and if it makes sense to you, why not apply it?
All right.
Or at least be open to discussing it so that you can enhance yourself in every way possible. And that would be my closing comment.
All right. All right. Thank you, Messenger Cole. And for all of our viewers, you heard the comments tonight. You heard the discussion tonight. It's very, very intriguing, very interesting. If you're in the New Orleans area, reach out to Bishop Mee over there at Imani Temple. You're in the Opelousas area, reach out to Messenger Corey Levier. And as I said, it's great to be online and to be able to participate like this, but it's a little bit something extra, a little bit added when you're able to do that in person. So I want to thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Messenger Cole, for coming on tonight. And as a close out, I know that everything that was said tonight, everything that was said on this program tonight, that was already written out 1,000,000 years ago. There's nothing new that we came up with tonight. This was written out. We were supposed to say these words that we said tonight, and you all were supposed to hear it. And I just thank Almighty God for being a part of this moment, being a part of what's going on right now. And as I close out, one message, and that message is that no matter whatever it is that you're going through, no matter whatever it is that you have to go through in this upcoming week, there is a power that can bring you through it. Not only can bring you through it, but can bring you through it and still be at peace. And that power, the power that I call God, and as we hear different names, all different types of names, and I'm not quibbling about what the name is. I'm just saying that I know that there is a being that is almighty. Until we meet again here next week on The Message, matter of fact, until we meet again this coming Sunday, and I invite you again to fellowship with us here online, because we won't be in person this Sunday. The second and fourth Sundays we're in person, but we are every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're online. Come on, fellowship with us. And when you come fellowship with, you get a chance to hear me do some singing. I try to do a little singing. They say can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I do my best. And we have a little tambourine. We just have a celebration. We have a good time. Okay, until we meet again here, may God Almighty bless you and yours with peace.